A very good morning to my dear students and welcome to our social science class. So today we are going to start with the new topic, that is Janapadas and Mahajanapadas. So in this topic you will learn about the kings, the place they used to stay, and the names of the place where they settled, they built their homes, they built their kingdoms, all that we are going to start in this particular topic. Okay, so before starting the topic, let me ask you one question from the previous part, that how many types of varnas are there. So this is the question for you. We'll be discussing this in our live class. Okay, so let's start our class. So so students, in this topic you will be able to define about Janapadas and Mahajanapadas, and distinguish between the two concepts, that is what is Janapadas and what is Mahajanapadas. Okay, and the competency that you will gain after learning this topic is that you will be able to distinguish between the two topics and the two concepts, and also you will be able to identify the capital cities of Mahajanapadas in the map of India. Okay, so students, one more thing, one more reminder to you: please get a map for yourself, a political map uh, or a physical map of India, so that we can do the map work, or you will have to do the map work as a homework. So after seeing this video, please buy a map, or you can tell your parents to get a map for you. Okay, so let's start our class. Let us know what are Janapadas. Okay, so when a king perform a sacrifice and become reorganized as a stronger and more powerful king, his kingdom is called a Janapada. Jana means people, Pada means food, the place where people set their food or settle down. So the Rajas who perform big sacrifices were now recognized as what? Rajas of Janapadas, rather than only Jana. So the people, in Ashwamedha Yajana, where a powerful man used to perform the ritual just to be a ruler or a king. So when he becomes a ruler, and when he set his first foot in a particular area, that is known as Janapadas. Okay, so the word Janapada literally means Jana, means the land where the Jana set its food and settled down. So the word Janapada literally means the land where the Jana means people set its foot and settle down. So some important Janapadas are shown in your map of India, that is in page number 57. Kindly go through it. Okay, so the Janapadas that archaeologists have excavated a number of settlement. Okay, and the Janapadas are, for example, Purana Kila in Delhi, that is a Janapada. Then Hastinapura near Meerut. Then Atranjikhera near Ita. The last two are in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, this Meerut and Atranjikhera near Ita also lies in Uttar Pradesh. So they found that people live in huts, and people live in huts. Then these people were they also reared animals, and they also grew variety of crops like rice, wheat, barley, pulses, sugarcane, sesame, and mustard seeds. You know what are sesame? Til. In Bihu we used to eat til pitha, right? That sesame is a kind of til, which is a kind of crop which is used to be grown by the people of Janapadas. Okay, and this sesame is also used in our used for making pitha in Bihu. Okay, til pitha. Sesame means til pitha. Okay. So archaeologists have found a lot of evidence that tell us that they lived in huts, then they reared animals, they reared cattle, and they also grew variety of crops like rice, wheat, barley, pulses, sugarcane, sesame, and mustards. So they made earthen pots, and some of these were gray in color, then others were red in color. We have different type of pots that we see. Okay, when you travel from like travel towards Shillong, you have a turning in Khanapara. Okay, out there also many pots are being made. So you can see that color of the pots are have got different colors. So in that era also some ardent pots were made which are of different color, like gray in color, others were red in color. Okay, so there was a one special type of pot which was found, and that that pottery or the site is known as painted grayware. So one special type of pottery found in the areas of Janapadas was known as painted grayware, and this name was given gray spots because it has got gray spots, pots that painted in designs. Usually simple lines and geometric patterns are being given to this type of pots. Okay, so these are known as painted gray ware. So there is also a picture in your book, page number 57. You just go through it. That is an example of painted gray ware, where the gray color is like a background, and over that the designs are being made. Okay, so next we are going to study about Mahajanapadas. So about 2500 years ago, some Janapadas became more important than others. Okay, and they were known as Mahajanapadas. So for example, there are three or four Janapadas. So among them, two became or three became very powerful than the other. So those were known as Mahajanapadas. Okay, so some of the Mahajanapadas are also shown in map. I'll show you in the next slide. So most Mahajanapadas, Janapadas means the word Janapadas came from huge, that is Maha means huge, and so these were regarded as the huge kingdoms. Okay, so Mahajanapadas were bigger kingdoms. They each had a capital city. You know what is the capital of India? So you have to tell me. Okay, and and what is the capital of Assam? You also have to tell me. So they each had a capital city. They had huge tall walls around the kingdoms. They also built fort for protection. So the main concept of building the huge wall around them is to protect the kingdom and also to show their power. Okay, so archaeologists think that there were 16 Mahajanapadas in ancient India. Okay, let me tell you. So these are the 16 Mahajanapadas: Kamboja, Gandhara, Kuru, Panchala, Koshala, Malla, Vrija, Kashi, then Magadha, Surasena, Vatsa, Matsya, Avanti, Chaitya, and Ashaka. So these are the Mahajanapadas that you have to study properly, and you have to draw all this in your plot, in this in your map. Okay, so coming back to the topic, so the kings must have needed so many people to build, sorry, if they build so many walls and fort, they obviously also must have soldiers and armies. Okay, so the kings would have to have hiring and training for all of them. They also must have been paid salary and given equipment to fight, because you know they built the walls just for few reasons. For example, forts were basically built because people were afraid of attacks from the other kings and needed protection. So the first reasons of building the huge walls around the Mahajanapadas is to protect them from the other kings at the time of war or etc. So second is some rulers wanted to show how rich and powerful they were by building large, tall and impressive walls around their cities. So another reason of building the walls is to show other rajas that how powerful and how rich they were. Okay, so the land and the people living outside the 45 area could be controlled more easily by the king. So one more reason of building the huge wall is that whoever reside in the area of that kingdom, the raja can control the people around the fortified area. Okay, so that was another reason of building the wall. So there are three reasons of building the huge walls. First of all, they wanted to protect the people from the other kings. Secondly, they wanted to show how rich and powerful they were, and thirdly, the land belong like the land and the king wanted to control the people and the land, so that is why they build a large huge walls. So building such huge walls required a great deal of planning. Then thousands of like many costs were there, like many people were needed to build the wall, right? So this in turn meant enormous labor provided possibly thousands of men, women and children. Okay, and resources had to be found all of the around. So So managing a Mahajanapadas needed a lot of work and resources. So resources and work come from the people, and people need to be paid. So where do you think the king got the money for all? So they used to get money from the taxes, and we will discuss this taxes in another class. So the new rajas now began began maintaining armies. Soldiers were paid regular salaries and maintained by the king throughout the year. Okay, so some payments were probably made using punch mark coin. So there is a coin which is known as punch mark coin. So that coin was actually used for making the payment to the soldiers or the laborers who used to look after the his or her the king's Mahajanapadas. Okay, so we will read this particular punch mark coin in chapter 9 very precisely. So for today, let me end our class with two questions for you. So why did rulers show their powers? This is the question for you. You need to think and you need to answer me in the live class. And why the punch mark coins were used? So this is another question for you. So be prepared. We will discuss in our next live class. And the homework will be uploaded in your Google Classroom. Thank you. Have a nice day and God bless you. Bye bye.